What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse, rants, no hate. So, look, Franchin Crews Dezurn versus Savannah Marshall. Well, I want to say, kind of give a little breakdown, somewhat. Keys to victory for me. Franchin Crews has to do what she does. Bring that pressure. Do not let Savannah Marshall get comfortable. Savannah Marshall is very rangy. She's long. She's tall. Do not let her get her jab working. Smother her. Make her fight at a faster pace than she's used to. Don't punch yourself out and get to the point where you're throwing shots and they have nothing on it because you're just so gassed out. Make your shots count. Franchin Crews reminds me of a female Sean Porter, man. She's all over you. She smothers her punches at times too. She's off balance a lot, and a lot of times she'll reach in and lean and throw hard shots, and she like leans into you. Now for Savannah, she needs to fight tall. Stay behind that jab. She likes to use like slick upper body movement. She likes to counter with that lean, uppercut. Well, she needs to keep that jab pumping. She needs to keep Franchin on the outside. Now, when she gets on the inside, if you have to get, rough and physical inside, yeah, do it. Do it. You can't let her walk through you, but she needs to stay behind that jab. She needs to pop that jab out, follow with the straight. When Franchin comes in and she like leans and rushes in, the way Savannah like to lean and throw that uppercut, she catch her, she time her, and I feel like for Marshall, it's timing. Stay behind that jab, time her with your power shots when she leans, and don't be predictable, but she needs to really keep that stick in her face. I don't really see Savannah going to the body too much against Franchin, because stylistically, if she is going to the body a lot, unless Franchin is just doing sloppy things that you can just time and like you can telegraph, it's going to be difficult for Savannah to keep that pace up the way she fights. If she's trying to like just go blow for blow with Franchin, I think she needs to stay on her toes, keep that stick out. Don't worry about trying to be the hardest puncher and trying to live up to that I'm the hardest puncher in the division stuff. Just go out there, stay behind that stick, and when you catch her, when you throw your shots, throw them quick, crisp shots, not those lingering, lazy jabs. Don't put yourself in a position where Franchin is just coming in there, bumping you around and smothering you, because what's going to happen is this. You with the longer arm, your shots are going to be coming more from the outside. Franchin is going to be coming from all over the place. She's going to be outlanding you if it gets to the point where you're trying to fight her type of fight, for the most part. I don't know if Savannah Marshall is that disciplined to fight a boxing style match that would suit her better than trying to just go in there and trying to rough her up, because that style that Franchin has, it's the type of style that her style versus Marshall's style is more like, for one, you need to be in shape to go in there and just, for you to pull the trigger all night long like that. But it's the type of thing where Savannah's a thinker, and Savannah likes to dictate the pace. She fights best when she's the one dictating the pace. But fighting Franchin, it's going to be difficult for her to dictate the pace trying to fight that style of fight, which is why I'm saying if she stand behind that stick and she's catching her, moving, and she don't have to necessarily stay on the back foot the whole night. No, I think she should just kind of stay back, keep that jab pumping, lateral movement, do that little step back, where she's popping that jab, throwing her straight behind it, and giving Franchin second thoughts about trying to just rush through her, because that's just the way Franchin fights. So we'll see how it goes. whatever adjustments that either fighter need to make, readjustments, that's what is gonna, if it comes to that, whatever they have to do to win, it's more like whichever one of them can just sustain what's working for them, I feel like we'll win. Why? Because for one, Franchin is going to fight that one way. Marshall, on the other hand, if she doesn't use that long reach and that height, then does it make a difference that she's taller, has a longer reach? And Marshall likes to bang. So I feel like, if she let her ego get the best of her, let that instinct of, let's just brawl, and thinking she's the bigger puncher, and if she lands, she's going to get her out of there, it could backfire. Now, can she land something and get her out of there? We'll see. But this is a fight. And one thing for Marshall, one thing I would suggest she do is start putting these commentators in their place when they keep bringing up Claressa Shields. You're not about to go into the ring with Claressa Shields. So when people are saying, but it's inevitable, at least, at some point they're going to have to fight. Okay, well, she needs to focus on getting past Franchin Crews first. For one, that's disrespectful. It's like you or the commentators are looking, it's like the commentators are looking past Franchin Crews. Now, I will say, Marshall's not the one bringing Shields' name up. But you got to learn to say, look, I'm not fighting Claressa Shields. When that time comes, then we can talk about Claressa. Right now, I'm fighting Franchin Crews. That's my focus. I'm not worrying about Claressa Shields. I saw where the commentator was talking to her the interviewer was talking to her in one interview, and he says, any message for Claressa Shields? And I think she says something about, hey, buy a ticket and come out to the fight or something to that effect. But it's like, my thing is, a lot of times things that people say sticks in people's heads, and they're more focused on trying to say the right things, and trying to stay afloat with everything that's going on. To, don't let them sit there and talk about Claressa when that's not who you're fighting. That's not who you're fighting. Those little distractions, things like that, it's just unnecessary. You're going in here to fight to become undisputed. If you win, that's another accomplishment under your belt. And at the same time, now, because if you win, you become undisputed. Well, the way they praised you in the past, they will praise you that much more now. And the first thing they're going to start saying is rematch between, Shields and Savannah, even though you guys are in two different weight classes now. And however it goes, the point is, if you spend the rest of your career in Claressa's shadow because you keep trying to chase her, trying to make a statement, trying to make a point, it just gets to the point where it's like, if you lose again and she still holds her titles, now you start to look really desperate. And also, it's like, well, you failed to hold on to your titles and you spent all this time talking about Shields. No, focus on your career. Don't build your career off, worrying about what Claressa Shields' next move is. Like I said, if it comes back to you guys fighting, so be it. But until that happens, they need to focus and respect the fact that you're fighting a different opponent. Every single interviewer is doing the same things. When it comes to them interviewing Savannah, they cannot talk to Savannah without bringing up Claressa Shields. And it's just like they're obsessed. They want her to fight Claressa Shields more than she want her to fight her. It's like then she want to fight her herself. They're constantly bringing her up. And, it's the same thing how you see, like, every time somebody talks to Michaela Mayer, they constantly bring up Baumgartner. Constantly. So it's just like, when that time comes. But until then, if you're going to spend your career in somebody else's shadow and trying to, appease everybody that want to see this rematch to where they're talking more to you about Shields than they are to you about your actual opponent. You got to learn how to control that too. You have to learn how to control that when you're talking to these interviewers. It's not necessary because that's not who you're fighting. So, that's why one of the things I commended about Floyd, when Floyd, has Miguel Cotto in front of him or whatever. And so Floyd, everybody wants to know, the big question is, are you going to fight Manny Pacquiao? And they look, we're not going to talk about. We're not here to talk about Manny Pacquiao. Right now, I got Miguel Cotto in front of me. That's who I'm going to fight. I don't want to hear nothing about Pacquiao. That's what you have to learn how to do. Because all they're doing is trying to pump something up and trying to keep something going to the point where you might get so used to them saying these things and you get it just becomes normal. Your mind is not where it should be. Because if you lose this fight, nobody wants to hear about weight drain. Nobody wants to hear about, you wasn't focused or anything. So I would really can all the talk about Claressa Shields or any other fighter for that matter. Just simply focus on Franchin, go in there and try to get the job done. It's as simple as that. Let me show you what's crazy, right? Do you guys know what Franchin and Marshall have in common? They both got beat by Claressa Shields. Do you notice you never hear the interviewers asking her, do you want to have that rematch with Claressa Shields one day? Oh, Claressa beat you when you guys fought early in your careers. Do you want to avenge that loss? Why they don't ask Franchin that same thing? It's only Marshall. Constantly with Marshall. And these are distractions that fighters don't need. So again, it's not just learning like, Savannah said that she learned that boxing is a very cutthroat, dirty business. Yeah. Far before you became a pro, it was a cutthroat, dirty business from its inception. So understand, it goes all around the board, because the same interviewers praising you today will be the same ones doing stories talking about the rise and fall of Savannah Marshall. So learn how to take over these conversations and put an end to them when they're not necessary. You don't have to be nasty about it, but you do need to be stern and let them know, I don't want to talk about fighting any other fighter except for the fighter that's in front of me. If we're not talking about Franchin, then we have no conversation. When I am contracted to fight Claressa Shields again, if it comes to that, then we can talk about Claressa. Otherwise, why are we talking about Claressa Shields? And she be 110% right. And somebody needs to break this cycle of asking these stupid ass questions. So I believe that when it gets to the point where people start becoming obsessed with wanting to see something, and I believe it because I see it. And all these content creators and different people start just making up stories, just making up anything just to say, just to pretend that something is happening when it's really not, or something's deeper than what it actually is. And then what I see too, what they do, they'll say things to Claressa off camera, say something to her about Savannah or something, and then they'll kind of touch on it lightly when the cameras are rolling, so it looks like Claressa's just coming after her. And people she's salty. Salty about what? Somebody actually made a comment and said Claressa's salty because she knows that Savannah's about to become undisputed. Stupid dummy. Do you realize Claressa beat Savannah Marshall and Franchin Crews, and that she is undisputed herself? So what the hell does she have to be salty about? Even if Savannah was to beat Franchin, well, she lost to Shields when they fought in the pros. So salty, it's just the things that people say is just wow. Oh, she's so butthurt because she don't want to see Savannah prevail. And it's this is exactly what I'm saying about these bullshit stories. People start creating a beef when there's no actual beef. All there is two fighters going into the ring. And it doesn't matter who you want to win, who you want to lose. It's going to come down to what they do once they get in that ring. So, yeah, Savannah Marshall is a good fighter. She don't need this fake beef shit. She don't need people, trying to, it make you look desperate, and it does make you like an underachiever. Like I said, it makes you like you're in someone's shadow. When every time you have an interview, that person's name keeps coming up. Even when that person, look, Shields is about to fight Hannah Gabriels, who she already beat and became champion in another division. And now they're fighting again, right? And Gabriels is standing there looking like she's disappointed and upset. It's like, you should be glad that the fight's here. What's all the disappointment about? So she tried to put it in the press conference as if she's been dealing with a lot of anxiety and anger because Clarissa ducked her and all this. It's just crazy stuff that it's like, man, you guys had all these years apart since the last time y'all fought, and this is what you come up with. Like, wouldn't Clarissa duck you? When I was the champ at 154, we could have fought. Okay, fuck that. You got the fight now. You guys fought regardless, and she beat you. And you're going to fight again. So why are you holding on to, like, nonsense? This is the same shit the men do. And this is what I'm saying. The women keep talking about what they want to do different and how they want to be paid and respected, but you can't take those bullshit traits that the men are doing, follow that, and expect things to be different. Do what y'all have to do. And like I said, she's a solid fighter. Franchin's a solid fighter. They don't need to make up this bullshit, and Franchin was even, I think it was Coogan that was interviewing Franchin, and he was saying like how she was kind of like getting at Marshall, and Marshall didn't want to take it there. And Franchin she said, look, I respect Savannah, and I respect the fact that she took this fight. And like she said, what I was saying, she wasn't degrading her. She was making the point that she had to fight. Like, she got robbed. I remember the fight when Franchin got robbed for her titles. I remember that fight. And she, like she was saying, it was like, I had to earn everything the hard way. What I'm saying is, I respect Savannah that she took this fight with me because I'm a tough fighter. She's like, but what I'm saying, she took a loss. Okay, a bad loss. And then she finds herself back in the title fight. And, with all this outside talking about Shields and everything else, yeah, that's disrespectful, and it makes it look like, again, you guys are looking past Franchin, like this is going to be a walk in the park or something. So at the end of the day, it's like she just wanted to let her know that I'm here and I'm for real. This ain't no like you doing me a favor. Like, I'm doing you a favor. I'm the one. We both, hey, they need each other, in terms of the competition. But yeah, I'm the one with all the belts. So she offers nothing to Franchin except for the fact that if Franchin wins, that her name is under her belt, that I beat her too. But other than that, she's the one with all the belts. And that's pretty much like, what she was going at in like in the last video, how I brought up how these guys are sitting here talking, like trying to make Marshall like she's some megastar with all the belts, and like she's doing Franchin a favor. And if you notice, they keep talking about being a part of the event, how many people came out, and how what her upbringing was like, how she went from where she was to where she is now. Right, but you still lost the fight. See, that's the thing that Marshall need to understand. They're trying to do all of this build-up shit and applaud her for the fact that she was a part of the event. We know you were. And basically, you belonged in there with Shields, and Shields belonged in there with you. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. And basically, Shields is just the better fighter. It's over with. If a third fight happens, then it happens. But don't be obsessed. Don't let these fucking people sit up here and bait you in to being a part of something that can come back to haunt you. Because see, when you build fighters up and constantly talk about how they're going to do this and that, and I've never seen her so hungry, and she's focused, and she's this, and yeah, okay, that's all good. We just heard the same thing come from Ryan Garcia's team, and we see how that went, and we saw how his team treated him after he lost. So Savannah is, I think, like, honestly, man, Savannah to me seems like a person that, like, she seems like the type of person that's like to herself. She seems like the type of person that don't trust a lot of people, and she probably, like, she's probably emotional around certain people. Like, they get to see sides of her that other people don't. And I think that she look at them like they just want what's best for her. So when people are speaking good of her, I think she just don't understand how detrimental that can be if this shit backfires. Because believe me, let's say, for example, she went there and destroyed Franchin, right? And then you see a story on somebody's podcast or their YouTube channel or oh, Savannah Marshall decimates Franchin Crews, right? Don't you know if it goes the other way? And let's say the next fight she fights someone and gets destroyed. Don't you know that same person that was speaking good about you and praising your efforts will be doing a story going, Savannah Marshall completely obliterated in just 2 rounds. This is the end of her career. It'll be the same ones. So, don't get caught up into all this. This is what I mean about when people start talking all this countryman stuff and, how's it feel to know you're going to have the whole country, they're cheering you on. So what? So what? They can cheer you on, you may win. You're not going to win because they're cheering, you're going to win because you're the better fighter. And they can cheer you on, you can go in there and lose. So, it's like, you understand something too. When I'm nobody's fan. I love boxing. But when you have fans, they're not all just from your country. So when it gets to the point where people start all this, we're going to have X amount of people there and they're going to be waving our flag and they're going to, okay, right. They did all of that when you lost to Clarissa Shields. And that's the point of what I'm saying. Your focus should just be looking at who your opponent is. You're confident that you're going to win. You put the work in, you study them, you break everything down mentally that you absorb and understand who you're getting in there with. And don't let them get you in these war of words and get you to the point where you're focusing on petty shit. Because, man, to me, it just sounds very stupid. It's just ignorant that this woman is about to go in there and stand across the ring from Franchin Crews, who is the champion, undisputed, at 168, and they're sitting up here bringing up Clarissa Shields. It's like, and that night, it's just in general. What is the purpose? You can't live in the past. Even when you win and do something great, as long as you putting gloves on and lacing the boots, you still have something to prove. And I just feel like I just feel like Savannah Marshall deserved better than what she's accepting these people to do. Because I don't think she understands, like I said, that this shit can backfire on her. And you can't consider these interviewers your friends just because they're your countrymen. You understand what I'm saying? So they need to stick to the task at hand. Interviewers ask the dumbest questions. So, you fought many people and you fought this person, and what are you going to do against this person that's different? What do you see your strong points? How are you going to win this fight? Why the fuck would a fighter stand there and tell you what their strategy is? And they ask the same dumb, lame-ass questions every single fight. They ask the same stupid questions. So, just saying. And the thing also, too, why I'm saying this, because, when fighters go through shit and they talk about mental health issues, don't you think it would be healthier for Savannah Marshall that if she did lose, that she feel like, okay, I lost the fight, that's all. Not, I let my country down. And then go through this depression because she's no longer seen the way she used to be. She's no longer a hot ticket. You understand what I'm saying? So the same way they praise you when you win, they tear you down when you lose. So that's why I'm saying it's like when people win, they want to wave the flag and they want to, and all that. But when they lose and it gets to the point where, okay, you run your course. So respect earns respect. You got 2 solid fighters that's going to go in there. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. Talk to me in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think about this fight between Franchin Crews and Savannah Marshall. How do you think Crews wins? If you think she's going to win, tell me why and how you think she win. If Savannah, you think it's Savannah, tell me how and why you think she's going to win. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all in the next video.